All right, ladies, Judy Weber here with Livy Girl Radio, Livy Girl TV, and of course, Livy Girl Coaching. And I'm super excited to be staring at a woman who I've admired for some time now, Makeda Smith, who is a realtor extraordinaire from the Chicago area. She is a social media strategist, a wealth strategist. And so I'm excited to chat with her about her journey from being a realtor to now sharing my passion with just loving on the ladies and helping them build amazing businesses. So welcome, Makeda.
Thank you, Judy, for having me. I really appreciate being on tonight.
Oh, absolutely. It is my pleasure. So listen, why don't we start from the beginning? And I would love it if you would share your journey of how you came into real estate and just real briefly how that translated, into where you are today and what you're doing.
Okay, so it's like 2019 now, but I got started in real estate in 2004, and it wasn't of my doing. It was actually my husband, who is now a licensed managing broker in the state of Illinois as well. But he pushed me and just was telling me that he thought that I would be really good at selling real estate. And I never gave it a thought. I actually pushed it away, kept doing customer service. I was working for a company who did Cobra insurance, and I was working with customer service with those people at that particular company at that time. And my husband's like, you would make a great realtor. I think you should, pursue this as an actual career. And so I took the class, but I waited to take my real estate exam. And so a lot of time had passed. I began to forget the things that I had learned. And so I wound up taking the class over again, went immediately to go and take my test. I passed it. I kind of did like a church shout in the parking lot because I was just so happy to pass the class. It was just like a burst of energy that I had, walking out of there because I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to pass. And I hear that people, you fail the test, and they have to take it again. And so I was just thrilled to be able to pass that. I started with a small brokerage, which was a large franchise, Century 21 Murphy Realty in Oak Park, Illinois, which is right outside of Chicago in 2004. They had old antiquated systems to work with, but I went in on fire, ready to learn, and I actually closed 7 deals my first year in real estate. I didn't know that was a big deal back then, but people said that was very well for someone, getting into the business back then.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. And so that's you know what? I'm loving that story that your husband's the one that said, baby, you can do this.
Yes, he did. And I wasn't sure. I wasn't thinking about it because we had just bought our first home in like 2000, and we used a realtor to buy that home, and it was a HUD property. And he was like, you can do this. And so I was the one that actually put our house on the market when we sold it in 2004.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's jump from 2004. What happened? I know something significant happened in 2009, but tell us just briefly in that 5-year period, like how was your production or what were you doing in order to find leads, that kind of thing.
So from 2004, I think over the course of my years in real estate since 2004 to 2019, 15 years, I've been at maybe about 4 companies over that time span. And so I started with Century 21. I wound up moving to a company called Zip Realty. And if anyone's familiar with Zip Realty, they kind of fed you the leads. You were not an independent contractor at Zip Realty. You were actually an employee. And so they withheld taxes, which, was lovely, but I still didn't feel like I had that independence that I wanted when it came to my real estate business. I felt that I could make more going to a different brokerage. And so I wound up going to a local brokerage here in Naperville, Illinois, which is Charles Rubenberg Realty. It was 100% commission split. And who doesn't love 100% commission split? And you get to pay a low transaction fee. And so I went there, but I was continuing to sell a few properties, a year. Got presented with an opportunity from Countrywide Financial back then, who was no longer in business. They presented me with an opportunity to perform broker price opinions. And for those ladies out there that don't know what broker price opinions are, it's basically paid CMA, except that you're doing it for the banks. You're doing it for corporate clients. And I had no idea what a broker price opinion was, but they were going to pay me $60 for drive-bys and $95 for an interior, and I jumped on it right away. I didn't know what it was. I Googled, I learned, and I did it. And so from there, it led me to begin to get REO properties. And what REO properties is real estate owned, and it's basically just becoming a listing agent for the banks. And so I began to get, 3 properties here, 5 properties there, and still doing, kind of good closing between maybe like 7 to 12 properties per year, but it was not to where I was top producer and getting awards, appearing in, local magazines with the board. And it wasn't until a few years later that I actually said, you know what, I want to do more of these foreclosures. I want to go out and find out how I can work with bigger and larger banks like Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, Bank of America, and Chase to get those listings. And so I began to go out and search for that business. I went to conferences. I actually will tell more of the story when I go into, come to the conference. And I'll be able to tell the ladies in detail, like how I did it, like how did I build those relationships. And so I went out to begin to build those relationships. And I actually landed an account with Freddie Mac. And so my current broker at that time, he did not want me to bring that to the company. And they were looking to give me 50 listings at one time. And I said, oh, this is perfect. Let me go and tell my broker who's going to be excited. He wasn't excited. He was like, that's a lot of liability. I don't want to do it. And so I had to go out and search for a new company to work with because that broker did not want to take on a large REO account. And so I did have some bargaining power and negotiating power when I went to my next broker. And I was like, okay, I need this particular split and I'm bringing this particular account with me. Can you do it? And he was excited for it. And I began working for Royal Service Realty here. And so after I landed the Freddie Mac account, Fannie Mae came aboard, Bank of America, Chase, and then all of these other entities, came along. And before I knew it, I was a top producer. I was, up in the morning doing real estate, falling asleep at night, still, texting, on the phone, doing emails, doing whatever I needed to do to get those deals closed. And so that led me from 2009 to about 2013 to be top producer 4 years in a row.
Okay, let me pause for a second there.
Okay.
That's amazing. Congratulations, by the way, on that. And it's funny because Jan, my twin sister and my partner in crime, she actually got that similar gig. And I forget who the heck she got it with. Wells Fargo, maybe? I forget.
Okay.
But, it was so funny. She tells the story that she wanted this opportunity and she was fresh in the business. And one of the more senior agents was like, "Oh, good luck. They're not just going to give you this opportunity, but hey, just like what you did, seeking out, Chase and some of the others, that's awesome." But let me ask you, were you afraid? Like, were you afraid meeting these people at conferences or pursuing these other clients? Talk to us about that.
I was very afraid. And, the one quote that I loved, even on my Instagram page to this day, that you will see a theme of is that do it afraid. You'll find your courage on the journey. And so I did it scared. I actually went to sign up for a workout class. I don't know if you heard of Orange Theory, but sure. I went in and I was scared because these people, they was like, we're going to get your heart rate up. We're going to get you. And I was terrified. But when you're terrified, you know that that's the thing that you need to do. Because when you're comfortable, what are you going to do? You're not going to push yourself to the maximum that you know that you can perform. And so when I was going to those conferences and I had, all of these, corporate gurus that was around me, I still went in with the strategy that I'm going to talk to the decision makers when I get here. And even leaving the conferences, that everybody has a card from somebody. And so they know that they're going to get inundated with all of these emails once they get back to their offices after the conference. But your job is to continue to follow up. And so I continued to follow up week after week, even if it was month after month, until I began to hear that yes, because it only took one yes, and it was from Freddie Mac, and that led to all the others. But yes, I was terrified.
That is just awesome. So did you have to have a conversation with yourself to work yourself up into that, to appear as this confident woman that you're appearing right now? I mean, I'm sure you're more confident now than you were back then just because of life experiences and whatever. But I mean, did you have to intentionally say, you can do this to pump yourself up?
Yes, I even do that now. Like I do that now with everything that I'm doing, hosting events, talking to agents, getting on, consultation calls. Like I do that now to say, Makeda, you have the experience. And even talking to other real estate agents that are new in the business, and they say that I don't think that I know enough. No, stop saying that you don't think that you know enough, because you went through a 6-week training, you went through a 12-week training, whatever that training was, you were able to go through that class, you were able to take the exam, pass the exam, and become a licensed agent. So you knew enough to be able to become licensed. And so, yes, I have to have that pep talk with myself all the time. Like, Makeda, you've been a top producer. Like you've been closing 40 listings, plus per year. Like you've been making 6 figures. You did all of these things. Stop talking yourself out of greatness. And I don't know if you ever grow out of that, because for me, continuing to reach different heights and different levels, there's different levels of fear that you're going to have, because I'm not doing the same thing year after year. I'm climbing, and every climb that you go, it brings a different level of fear, but you have to keep going.
I love that. I love that. And you may know from being involved with our Girls Guide group, we're all about imperfect action. And I know some ladies are like, why are you pushing imperfect action? I want to take perfect action. It's like, you know what? We're not God. And so the only action we can take is imperfect. And so I love that. Do it afraid. And I also love how you say, stop talking yourself out of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
At the conference, the She's Unstoppable Live conference, we're going to hear from Dottie Herman. And her story is incredible, where she absolutely did the same thing. I mean, it's the same mantra. Ladies listening, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to let this soak in. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Makeda just admitted she doesn't know what she's doing sometimes. That doesn't make us not an expert. And I want you to understand, same with you. We don't have to have all the answers, but we know we want to help. We have a passion for helping, as you do. So just please, ladies, I want you to just soak that in. And now I want to switch gears, Makeda. And, you are a social media wealth strategist. And that's a mouthful. So before we unwrap that, I want to ask you, how in the heck did you get 9,000 followers on your Instagram? Can you kind of tell us, how in the world did you become this social media guru?
So my tribe knows this story. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the 6-figure chick. She's CC, the 6-figure chick. And so I started following her maybe about 3 years ago when everybody was doing live streaming on Periscope. And I started following her on Instagram. And so she put out a challenge, and I was just playing on Instagram. I would post every blue moon, maybe 5-6 months. I would post a house or just a regular family photo. And so she put out a challenge, and she said, I challenge you to get 100 followers in 1 week. And I was like, how can you get 100 followers in 1 week? And so I took her 5-day challenge. I didn't get 100 followers, but I did get 70 something followers. And so from that 70 something followers, it made me realize that, Makeda, you can get almost 400 followers in 1 month if you stay consistent at it and really took Instagram serious. So I began to take Instagram serious, and I began to post a lot more, and it was more intentional. I said, okay, what is the brand that I want to, put forth on Instagram? What do I want people to see me as? What colors, like what brand colors I'm going to use? What type of logo? What's going to be my slogan? And also my brand name. And so I came up with all of these different things, and they changed, over the last few years. But what I began to do, and what I noticed what works big on social media and also on Instagram, is building relationships. So I began to build relationships with people on Instagram. If they were celebrating something, I'm saying happy anniversary, happy birthday, oh, congratulations on your son or your daughter achieving this. Like I began talking to people. And even in my comment section, you won't see a comment that hasn't gone unanswered. You will see me speaking directly to people. I take the time to go and actually look at the person that I'm talking to. I go through their page. I see what their name is, because I like to call people by their name in person. The same thing I want to do on social media. And so I just began to build relationships, and I began to take people on my journey in selling real estate, and also doing, marketing, to where they were following me as I was going through my daily life. And so I began to do stories every single day. People will respond and tell me how inspiring I am. And then realtors, just began to start reaching out saying, hey, I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm about to take my test. Do you have any advice for me? And so I just began to get text messages, emails. It was coming from everywhere. But it's just building those relationships on Instagram. And then people began to tell other people about me and say, hey, you need to follow her because she knows real estate. Like she's in Chicago, and they began to even send me, referrals, from other realtors in other states. And so that's why now if you go to my Instagram, you'll see a big thing that I have, regardless to what state you're in, call me first because I can find a realtor, for that particular buyer or seller.
That is so smart. That's so awesome. So when did you really get serious about your Instagram account?
Probably about 2 years ago.
Okay.
So it took me probably about 2 years in building to 9,000. Now, I would say if I did not get busy over the last year helping other agents, I probably would have more, but I had to pull back a little because I was helping other agents, and other women in business to build their brands and their social media platforms.
Okay, that's excellent. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. And Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, that's your business.
Yes.
And so I want to talk a little bit about more specifically what you do. But before we go there, what tips do you have, besides you gave some great ones, which is build a relationship, tell a story through your posts, besides doing the actual stories in Instagram, but also building relationships and taking the time to respond. But let me ask you this. One of the biggest questions that our clients have is, okay, Judy, I'd like to sleep, 4 or 5 or maybe 6 hours a night. So how do you guide your clients to say, you have to do this, you have to respond? How do you teach them to find the time to do that?
So that's where I had the name Social Media Wealth Strategist. So you have social media strategists out there that will help you with a strategy with your social media. But my job as a social media wealth strategist is to help you to make money on your social media platforms so that you can continue to pay people like me or other people that may do social media management to help you to build up your platform. So for the number one advice that I would give, if you can do it yourself, take the time out on 1 hour or 2 hours on a Sunday. Write out your social media, strategy for the month. You need to come up with a theme that you're going to do for the month for your social media strategy and stick to that theme. You need to have social media scheduling tools to use to schedule out your posts so that you're not spending all of that time all day. And so the top 3 that I would give you would be, of course, Hootsuite. There's Buffer, but the one that I use is Planoly, which is actually for Instagram. But what I use in conjunction with the Instagram scheduler is something called If This Then That. And so If This Then That is actually a software where it's basically what you say. If you post to Instagram, then post to Twitter. If you post to Instagram, then post to Facebook, and so on. And you can also so all of my Instagram posts actually populates to Pinterest because of this software that I set up. And it's free.
Okay, whoa. Now this is crazy. Okay, this is just crazy. Planoly, is that Planally?
So Planoly.
Okay.
And you can set up all of your Instagram posts in that one platform. It's free up to about 20 posts. And then after that, it's $8.99 that you pay per month. And if you wanted to do more than one account, you can have more than one account on there as well. So, but if you did not want to do it for yourself, you can hire a social media manager to do it for you. And that's where you're going to have to make sure that you measure to make sure that you are generating leads on your platform and that you are responding to those leads right away. Because social media, with it being high in engagement, people will move on to the next realtor on the platform if you're not responding. So you have to make sure that you have your notifications turned on so that you do not miss leads on that platform. And you can gain some serious leads on social media.
Wow. I mean, I'm just blown away. How did you just how did you teach yourself all this? I mean, how did you learn? Because, well, you're younger than me. I was gonna, you know, but me, I'm just like, I'm so excited to be on Instagram, and now we have an amazing social media director who she knows what she's doing. But
Okay.
wow, I'm just like blown away. Like you have so a wealth of knowledge, and I mean, kudos. I'm just blown away.
I appreciate it. So it was basically trial and error. And then also I took a lot of social media classes. I watched, I learned, I paid for, you know, coaching. I paid for consultations. I paid for courses. I paid for classes. I just made sure that I educated myself on that which I wanted to learn. And so just like with any other agent out there, you have to learn to educate and actually invest in your business to, you know, learn more. Because just like we talked about earlier about the fear, I read a book. It's something about the experts. I'll get the book for you later, but basically in this book, and this stuck with me in reading these chapters, and it basically talked about how there's someone that always knows less than you, and there's someone who always knows more than you. And so your job, if we have a scale of 1 to 10, if you are a 5, then you teach those people that are 1 through 4 what it is that you know. And so in order for me, once I get through teaching, okay, 1 through 4, and I get to 5, okay, then I need to be able to educate myself on 6 and 7 to be able to teach those people underneath that what that expertise is in that field. And so you have to continue to educate yourself. So I'm always looking like, okay, what's new in social media? Instagram is constantly dropping things. And so one of their most recent tools was the microphone in the DM, right? So now you can do voice messages in a DM. And I had someone reach out to me that said, Makeda, I need you to sell my house. I immediately hit the microphone in the DM and I said, okay, how soon are you looking to sell? What are you looking to do? And we had a back and forth conversation just through that one microphone, that feature that Instagram added.
That is awesome. That is just awesome. Yeah, because I do firmly believe that social media is a wonderful lead gen source when you know what you're doing, and you obviously do. One last thing before I switch over to your products and services specifically. Okay. You talked about a theme for the month.
Okay.
So can you give us an example? And here we are in February. So what's an example of a theme? Are you talking about a holiday, or are we talking something different?
So I'm talking about, it could be a holiday. So what I look for my social media clients, I'm always looking to see in the month of January, if there are some holidays that are coming up that we can incorporate into a theme. And so we know for the month of February, we have the Black History Month, and we also have Valentine's Day. So a lot of my clients, they are doing Black History quotes on Black history, maybe inventors or people that have, you know, did different things in real estate. My client actually sent me something of a lady that was born in 1870s, and she bought like 9 properties back then. And I'm like, in the early 1900s?
I didn't think that was possible.
I know. And so I was just blown away. So those are the type of things that I'm talking about. And so for the theme for one of my clients is, what is the theme? For the love of real estate. And so for the love of real estate, for the whole month, we're telling people, why do you love being in real estate? Why should others love to, you know, fall in love with buying a new home, or selling their home and maybe upgrading to another home that they would love even more? And so for that, that's each month you should have a theme. So next month we're going into spring. What is going to be your spring theme? Because we know what comes spring, we're going to have more people that are going to be ready to put their house on the market. So now you have to start thinking about, okay, let's talk more to sellers in the springtime. In the wintertime, I'm talking more to investors, because investors are still going to be out looking. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to be ready to buy cash. In the summertime, I'm talking a lot to buyers, because buyers are out. They're shopping. Like, everybody's ready to try to buy something before the kids go back into school. And so that's what I mean by a theme. Always have a theme for each and every month when it comes to your social media pages.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. And One last thing, because I have a question to this. Okay. And your page does this. I love your feed is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Your fonts are amazing.
Thank you.
And it seems like there's kind of a quote and then there's a picture and then there's a quote and then there's a picture.
Yeah.
Not always, but is that like the magic formula that we should follow?
So the formula should be what your people are receptive to. So for some people, their followers may not want a checkered pattern. They may not want, quotes and a cute picture of a house. They may want something else. And so you have to listen to your audience and see what your audience respond to by looking at, okay, are they liking? Are they sharing? If you go to an individual post on Instagram, you can click on view insights for that post, not for your whole platform, but for that particular one picture that you posted, and see how many people saved it, how many people shared it, how many people liked it, how many people commented on it. And then that should tell you whether or not you should continue to post things of that nature. I know for my audience, because a lot of entrepreneurs follow me, and then also realtors and investors, they love to see business quotes. They love to see inspirational and motivational quotes. Like, I know my audience. You have to know the age of your audience. You have to know the demographics of your audience so you can be able to post to their needs.
Excellent. Wow. Yeah, that's excellent. It's the studying and the monitoring and the tweaking that you're obviously a master at. Okay, so can you tell us briefly about what specifically Savvy Chicks in Real Estate does, the services you provide?
Okay, so Savvy Chicks in Real Estate came about and was birthed, as I told you, because all of these women started reaching out to me and they wanted to know more. They wanted to be on a phone call with me, but trying to sell real estate at the same time as trying to consult, like, it's hard to do both. I mean, you can, but you will burn yourself out. And so I created Savvy Chicks in Real Estate because we are savvy chicks in real estate. And savvy chicks in real estate, we don't look at each other as competition because we're too savvy for that. And we are looking at, making our own way, regardless of having competition. And me, for myself, I actually partner with 3 other realtors in my area to host home buyer, events in my area, because we're not seeing each other as competition, because there is more that we can do collectively together than we can do by ourselves. And so
love that. I just so love that. I have to say, because that's always been our thing. Hey, your success does not mean my failure. So kudos again. I love that, Makeda.
And I told you that that's what attracted me to you and Jan, because you reached out to me in a DM and you was like, hey, join our group. And I did. And it was like family. It was very personable. And I joined other groups and they, will kick you out for doing what some of the things that you do. But you and Jan was very welcoming. And I really, really appreciate that. And so with Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, it's basically community over competition. So we're savvy enough to be able to build our business and build empires for ourselves and our family, while also helping our fellow sisters in real estate. And so what I provide for my clients is I want to teach you how to use digital products in your business to be able to lead generate. Because a lot of us the system is moving more to automation. And we have to move with that market, and we have to create digital products to be able to move into more automation as it relates to real estate. I'm starting to see it more, which I'm happy that we are automating more, but we have a lot to go in real estate.
Okay, so for those that may not be studying what's going on like you and I are, can you break that down a little bit? When you say automation, what does that mean as a practical matter?
So automation is just basically putting your system on automation. So when you're asleep, someone should be able to go to your website, sign up for your email list, get an automatic email that welcomes them to the list. And then also, if there's a free download, maybe like a home buyer's guide or a seller's guide, the system should automatically send them those things that they can start reading about, okay, what is it that Makeda has to offer in the market? And I'm showing that in a digital product. I'm showing that in a welcome email while I'm asleep, and when I wake up, I see that there's an email. They got the ebook overnight. Okay, well, let me follow up with a personal email or let me follow up with a phone call if they did leave, their phone number as well. When people come to your social media pages, are they able to click on a link in your bio to sign up for a free CMA? Are they able to sign up to get more information, about other products that you have to offer? Are they able to sign up and schedule a phone consultation, with you and get on your calendar automatically without them having to call you to schedule an appointment, but they can click and schedule an appointment and get on your calendar?
Love that. Love that. Do you do that? Do you teach your ladies to do that through private messenger, through their Facebook business page? I've seen that and I didn't know. We don't do that. We have another system, but what are your thoughts on that going through Facebook?
I'm going to learn that. Like we talked about, making sure that you scale. So if I'm at a 5, I need to be, at a 6 and 7. So I am going to learn more, but my jam, my expertise, I am an Instagram expert. Like I know Instagram inside and out. Facebook, so I can get by with Facebook, and do Facebook ads and target, the right market. But as far as like that messenger, I heard about it, and then retargeting to make sure you grab their email addresses as well. I just don't know it yet, but I will learn.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, that's awesome. As we wrap up, let's talk about the She's Unstoppable Live conference that's happening. Yes. I'm so excited that you're going to be there. Oh my gosh. Yes. And She's Unstoppable Live happening in Dulles, Virginia, April 9th and 10th. And so tell me about what you're most excited about. You've been on the conference website. What are you most excited about for April?
I'm excited to see the diversity of all of the women gathered together in one spot. And like I said, that you've already set the mantra for us coming in, that there's community over competition. So I already know that once I get there, these are my sisters in real estate. Like they want to know, okay, Makeda, how did you do this? And how did you do that? And there's going to be people that want to learn from me. And then there will be people that I would also want to learn from. And then we're also all going to be sharing information, because I also heard you say, either it was you or Jan, that said that there would be no selling, from the stage. And I thought that was, very big, because it's focused on community building and making sure that agents do not feel sold to, but they feel connected to their sisters in the community. And Absolutely. So I'm most looking forward to just seeing a diversity of us coming together.
Oh, wow. That is going to be awesome. And yeah, can I tell you that I haven't been to realtor conferences for many moons. And so as I was talking to our clients about it and telling them how excited I was, one woman said, oh man, is this going to be like, I'm not going to insert name of guy here. Is this going to be, like that? And I said, whoa, I didn't even think about that. Let me tell you something. There's going to be exhibitors outside, but in the ballroom, It's all share. We're going to be giving you ladies, such great information, and you are going to be giving the ladies great information. So yeah. And then you know what else I'm super excited about? I'm excited about the cocktail reception. Where we're going to come together, let our hair down, have a little pink drink, have some yummy yummies. And anyway, Livy Girl Awards. So we'll get to that in another day. But, oh yeah, there's going to be 5 ladies winning Livy Girl Awards. And they're not about the top producer. It's about who's serving their community in amazing ways. Who has improved the most, who really just has a heart of serving. It's going to be a fantabulous time. And I am just so excited to meet you, Makeda.
Yes. And that's it. What you just said is what I said, the epitome of the conference. That's what I am looking forward to. It's not about, just being a top producer or being a top producer, but it's about what do I have to offer? How can I serve to my sisters in real estate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Makeda, thank you so much for spending time with me. The ladies listening, I know that they were furiously writing their notes. Okay. So they're going to listen to this again and again.
And that's just a snippet. That's just a snippet. Come to the conference and I'm going to give more, and you'll be able to ask, all of your questions about a whole bunch of different social media tools and things. We didn't even touch on all of the tools that we have in our MLS that you can use for free.
I love it. Love it. Oh my gosh. I can't wait. Well, Makeda, thank you again, hon, for your time. And we'll see you in April.
Okay. See you then. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Take good care, hun.
Okay.
Bye-bye.